All right, let's bring in my panel. No further delays. Media writer for The Australian, Sophie Ellsworth. Pauline Hanson's Chief of Staff, but now a candidate of his own, James Ashby. Well, your campaign's well and truly underway, James. It's not looking good for Labor. We've all read those tea leaves. Oh. We've got some grabs. I'll play them for a moment. I'll get a comment from Sophie about a shocker of the day for the Premier this afternoon. But you're running for the seat of Keppel. I want to know what people are telling you on the ground is front of mind.
Well, here in central Queensland, we're vastly different to the wants and needs of the southeast corner. But one thing we all have in common here in Queensland is the fact that cost of living has just become ridiculously expensive and people are struggling. And it's a telltale sign wherever you go. But here in the regional parts of the state, and I think this is what Labor have missed the point on for all the years now, we don't have the money being put into infrastructure despite massive growth coming to Queensland, and particularly in the regional areas. We don't have the hospital beds, we don't have the hospital staff, the schools are lagging, we're lacking teachers, and of course we're sick to death of seeing our coal royalties funneled down to the southeast corner and we get the scraps. So central Queensland and much of regional Queensland are definitely seeking a better distribution of those coal royalties in the new term of Parliament.
Yeah, I want to make a political point for people at home that they may not know, because it is front of mind for any national campaigner like James and myself. Queensland is the only state where more people live outside the capital city than in it. So every other state of the Commonwealth, you campaign hard in your capital cities because that's where most of your people are. Not so Queensland. So it becomes a ground game in a whole lot of regional centres as much as it is about Brisbane. But a bad day for the Premier. Shocker of a day, I have to say. Couldn't remember the name of his candidate in the seat where he was campaigning. Have a listen.
I don't have that detail in front of me.
You don't have the name of the candidate that's running for your team in the seat that you're in today?
Susan? Yeah, of course, it's Susan. Yeah.
Premier, on CS Energy...
I was with her the other night.
Now, I know he's a clown. That's also a problem for his staff. They should have prepped him on that before he's got out there. But this Medicare-style scare campaign being run by the United Workers Union, they're saying that the LNP wants to privatise all the hospitals. Do you think these tactics work anymore, Soph?
I certainly don't, Peter. Just on that first point with Stephen Miles, if I go back to that for a moment, what a shocker. He's in the communications business. Politicians need to know their candidate's name. That was a horror show there for him, so that will do him no favours. But onto these scare campaigns, they just, people can see through them, Peter, and the Queensland public will see exactly what is happening here, and they won't be fooled. So this shows to me that they're very desperate in Queensland because they know Stephen Miles is a problem, Labor government is a problem, Queenslanders appear to be sick of them. All the polls are showing this is going to be a smash-up there. So it shows to me they're deeply concerned.
James, they say it could be as many as 15,000 Australians still in Lebanon. Are you surprised so many are there? And what do you think about taxpayers being on the hook to get them all home?
I'm not surprised that there are 15,000 still over there. Peter, I think we saw a lot of this happening through COVID too. Remember, there were so many Australians overseas trapped during that COVID period, but a lot of those people were permanent residents of another country. They may have citizenship here in Australia, but they don't live here permanently. And, you know, that could be a result of a number of reasons. They've come in under the family migration rules and so forth, but don't primarily live here. No, taxpayers shouldn't be on the hook for this. They've been given adequate warning to get out of the country and return to a safe haven like Australia. If they haven't heeded those warnings, Australian taxpayers shouldn't be on the hook. Otherwise, we just put ourselves into further debt and we'll end up in a situation in future conflicts, wherever they are across the globe, where Australian taxpayers are constantly having to pick up the tab.